Yo, what is good, everyone? Welcome back to the channel, guys, for another video today. And today, man, we're gonna get straight into it. Not a lot of talking today. I mean, I will be talking, but I'm not talking to you guys about the usual subject matter. But today, we are actually gonna do a breakdown of the recent single, Money Brick. So, this is the recent single that we've dropped off the project Dollars and Cents, J-Geezy and myself. So, wanted to bring you guys a little bit of content behind that, something I can do for you guys, something that maybe gives you guys a little more insight into the track here, man. You know, I've got the stems. These are the original stems of the beat, even prior to being sent to the engineer, being mixed or anything. So, it is quite raw, but this is what we're going to talk about, man. So, man, I'm excited for this one because I really like to show my process. So, like anybody who knows me, if you're around me, man, I'll let you know how I make a beat. So, I'm going to try to keep it brief, but yeah, man, let's get into it. So, we're going to break this down. I think what we're going to do is we are going to go with the melodies, and then we'll go from the melodies to the drums, and I'm sure somewhere in between or a little bit around, you know, I'll probably get caught up talking about whatever, but that's what it's all about, man. Letting you guys know how the beat was made, why things sound a certain way, or why they're done this way and not like that. And, you know, just try to give you guys a little bit of insight to my mind, to my creative mind when I'm making these beats. So let's check it out, man. Right here, I've got about 5 melodies. This is a bass line, so you can't really consider that something. I mean, you could. I guess I kind of use it as a melody sometimes, especially depending on the track. But let's play it. You know, we're going to play the original melody first, the chords, because that's where the beat all begins, man. And it doesn't sound like much on its own, but I'm going to let it play. I might pause it, but maybe I'll kind of gradually build it as we go along. And then I'll break some things down about it. Let's check it out. You get that string. See, okay, well, I'm gonna cut it there. I'm trying to build it for you guys, but I want you guys to notice something about this bass line, right? It's kind of like it's kind of like stairs, you know? It starts high, goes low, comes back up, and the idea behind that is creating movement in the track. So it's like do 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 do. You know what I'm saying? You guys can hear it. So when I play this again, because I'm gonna play it fresh off the start, I really want you guys to check that out because that adds a little bit of movement into the track, and it's almost predictable when you hear it a couple times, and predictability is always good in a track, you know, not repetition per se, but the predictability is good because it satisfies what someone's trying to hear, you know what I'm saying? So it's a good thing, man. uh we're gonna put that string back in, and I'm actually gonna include this one. This isn't the main lead. If you've heard Money Brick, you know the Money Brick lead. I'm gonna play this one for now, and I just want you guys to hear how it sounds all together. And then we're gonna bring in that lead a little bit after. And I want you guys to listen to how it really fills out once I replay it. You know what we're actually gonna do? We're gonna play it from here on the beat, and then when it loops, I will bring it in. So let me just make sure I'm at the right spot. Yeah. All right, guys, let's check it out. Um, And I love that lead because it's kind of unconventional, I guess. Like um, it's not like your traditional West Coast pattern, but that really is a staple of a lot of my, this new West Coast sound, as I call it. This is really a staple of that, having these fun melodies, these fun leads on there, and bringing them together around that West Coast sound that a lot of people know, but just a slightly different take on it, just really feeling it when you're in that moment, when you're creating these beats, creating these vibes, and just going with it, man. Because if you know how to put it together and it satisfies what you're trying to hear or what you're trying to create, it's all that matters, man. And if it ends up working, man, there it is. So we're going to get into these drums, man, because we're already kicking here, but we're not going to play it all together. So let's check that out on their own. And I'm really just going to play these drums all together. I might make a couple points as they're playing, but we're going to let them play for the most part and kind of outline a couple things as I go here. So even right here, what I notice, something that I did, this triangle, you might notice it only comes in a couple sections right there. So this is actually in the hook. And actually similar to that, we have the snap that only comes in the hook. So these are only playing in certain sections of the beat. And again, as I mentioned before, it's creating that variation, it's creating that variation in the track where it's not all the same. And that's kind of what it's about. You don't want the beat to be stagnant. You don't want this repetition. It's creating these moments in the track where if somebody's really listening, and especially in the final mix down and in the official track, you can really hear it a lot more clear, that these kind of give the beat that little bit of just groove, especially in these parts, and it really creates that section of the song that maybe somebody feels a lot more, or it even leads to the next part of the song. Because now I'm kind of getting all over the place, but we have the bass line, and the bass line is super fire, of course, but the main thing that hits people is the 808s. But why do the 808s hit so hard is because we go from this bass line up here. I'm trying to get them both. There we go. You get the bass line here, and then it drops into the 808 is what it does. It doesn't, because if we just had this being a kick or maybe nothing or maybe 808 throughout the whole thing, it's like, okay, this hook is cool, but there's not much movement. But when you introduce the 808 in the second half of the hook, coming off the tail end of the bass, and not to mention we got these hats here that come in at the same time as the bass, creating just like that whole new section, but it's still part of the hook, that second half of the hook. It's really creating that sound. So I guess the biggest thing I'm trying to outline in here is that I really enjoyed making these moments in the track. I was really just keen on trying to add something different to the project and at the time, bring just my new outlook on beats and whatnot, because this beat was actually created as Dollars and Cents was being made. Whereas a lot of the other beats, they were already produced, or, yeah, for the most part, honestly, yeah, they were produced prior to Dollars and Cents coming about. It was a lot of beats that got selected, handcrafted, hand selected, I should say, and that's how Dollars and Cents came about. But this beat in particular, I wanted to showcase, just my new sounds, my new style, my new techniques, just all this, yeah, man, all my new tricks, man. So I really tried to bring out a lot of different things on this beat at the time. So that's where it came from. Less talking, man. We're gonna play these drums. Check it out. I'm going to play it with the bass line as well, just so that when we get into this part, you guys can really hear how it flips. And yeah, just really hear all these sounds for what they are. And you know what, man? I'll save these ones. I'll play the stomps. The stomps are good. Yeah, we're good. We're good. I'll put in this kick though. Let's play it. Notice how I kind of start to try to highlight that a little bit. So this is where the verse turns to the hook. So we actually changed from the snap to the clap. You notice it got a little bit deeper. And when you're listening to the track as a whole, this section is pretty cool because when it transitions into that, we actually drop out the top layer of the melody. So normally you hear the melody really quick. It's like, and it has like, but then here, or no, a little bit further, it just cuts out those high notes and it's just like, dun, dun, dun. You'll hear it right here. And it you know what I'm saying? So again, man, just these moments in the tracks, these little things, man, they go such a long way. The little bit of variation, but even taking out that little part of this chord, these original chords, this chord melody, it creates a moment in the track, man, and that's where the energy drops off a little bit, but it opens up the space for the rap. And yeah, man, overall, man, if you just piece together these little things, it'll sound sweet. I really like how this one turned out, man. So that's basically everything playing uh, in their own respects. Like we got a little bit of ear candy to go, and I did leave out some percussion or the tambourine just so that I could show it to you guys. So what else do we have to add here? So we got the scratch. The scratch, it's got to be self-explanatory, man, but you know, give it one of those. We have this open hat, which I only introduce after the first 8 bars of the verse, so only from the 8 through 16 section. And what that is just a little, sounds a lot better when you have like the kick and the bass, but you know, it's just a little. That sound pretty dope, but you know, just something to add a little bit of that flavor. This percussion is something I really like, man. This is the tambourine, and this tambourine, man, you know, I'm really paying a little bit of tribute to, man, some of my huge influences like back in the day, the old school hip hop, R&B, rap. You really hear these tambourines kind of bringing that constant rhythm to the track, similar to what I used up here actually. Again, paying homage to the old school, man. Just this high string. It's if I'm not mistaken, they refer to it as a drone. It's kind of just like a sound in the back that kind of just, it's a little bit of texture, but it kind of just holds everything together. You know, it's gonna keep on riding throughout the track, and similarly, that's what I do with this tambourine so often. Really just pieces everything together. You know, it's something that's always there, this constant rhythm to the track. It really creates the groove, man. So I actually want to show you guys this on its own, or I'll play it all together because now we're going to play the track all together anyway. So I'll talk about this real quick once I get back to it, but let's keep going. We got the riser. So the riser, super dope, of course. You hear, oh. So you have the whoosh, It's a little whoosh. Have that going. We have the wind chimes, you already know. We got that. We've got a flexitone somewhere in here, which is a really dope kind of like that triangle, maybe like a GTA sound effect a lot of people might know it as. So man, oh man, I love hearing that. That fits in a lot of West Coast beats. If you make West Coast beats, man, find yourself some flexitones, man. Those will do the job. Think I got in here, man. Shout out to West Coast G Funk, beat by Smoke, man. Not sure. Think I found it on the net or something, man. But these flexitones are super dope, so check them out. And then, man, of course we got, man, I'll give you all the play. Shout out to my tag. I layered the double tag. That's something I like to do. If I layer a double tag, you know I was feeling the beat. Because if I go from the Who's That into the rdream on the track, man, you already know I was feeling hot when I made the beat, so.
Who's that? It's rdream on the track, bitch.
Probably didn't need to ISO that, but respect. And man, there it is, all layers, man. That is the entire beat. Hold on, I'm trying to like zoom it for you. I can't figure this out, but that's the whole beat, man. Technically 22 different sounds, man, different layers. Seems like a lot, but man, when everything has its own space, it all just sits right and it's where it needs to be, you know. And it's especially using it sparingly. Like I was saying, I have this snap that's only used in the hook, whereas the clap carries the verse. Same thing with the triangle, only being in these certain sections of the hook. And yeah, even same thing here, you know, it can go for a lot of stuff where I'm only putting them in certain little areas just to create these moments within the track again. Because, excuse me, the more I've learned, it's just about creating these moments, man. That's what really sits, because there's probably a lot of songs where it's like, okay, song's cool, but there's that one part that really stands out. And if you only know so much about music, you might not know why it stands out, but I can bet you the person who created it did, because, you know, they put these little sounds or they put some emphasis on these specific parts, and that's what it is, man. If you can create a couple moments within the track, it will really stick. And as you start to evolve as a beat maker, as a producer, you really recognize that when a song is lacking these moments, that's all it needs. Give it that burst of energy, man. Figure out something you can do just to flip things a little bit. You know, just give it some life. You know, give the track some life, man. So I'm going to cut it there, man. This has been the official breakdown of Money Brick. Really appreciate everybody for checking out this video. Let me know what you think of the breakdown. And keep on running those streaming numbers up, man. Check out the video on YouTube. Things are going up, man. A lot of momentum and a lot of energy behind this track. And I really hope what I brought you guys today could just add to that, you know? Give you guys a little more insight as to what goes on. A little bit of insight into my mind when I was creating this beat. And that's it for me, man. I hope you guys enjoy the video. Enjoy the rest of the beat. We out, man. Peace.
Kiss me and her lips so sweet, yeah, it tastes like honey. Can't do the money clip. I don't make the money flip. It's like I made the money do drugs, cause it's high and it's up. How I go make the money trip. Never do the money phone. Please, yo, my money grown. If you knew what was good for your health, keep your hands off my wealth. Yeah, you best leave my money alone. Like the ranger, never deal with a stranger. But I bagged this down the other night. She was yelling Jesus Christ like we